The world's biggest aquarium broke. That sounds interesting. Yeah, we can watch that. Why the world's biggest aquarium broke by Fern.
December 15th, 2022, 4 p.m. CET. It's a wintry, cold afternoon in Berlin. However, here in the lobby of the Radisson Collection Hotel, in the heart of the city, you wouldn't feel it. Guests are lounging on comfortable armchairs and sofas, perhaps enjoying a drink from the atrium bar of the five-star hotel. Their gaze often wanders over the centerpiece of the hotel lobby. Directly above the bar is the world's largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium, the Aquadome.
That's an insane amount of
It is breathtaking. Standing at 16.5 meters high, it holds 1 million liters of salt water. Since its opening in 2003, the aquarium has been home to over 1,500 tropical fish.
2003, so I guess it lasted a while at least. I mean, is it just that they never like replaced it or really maintained it? Because I guess it stood quite a while, you know?
It has become a popular attraction. The elevator ride through the interior of the aquarium is a highlight for many guests. Often, they even choose rooms with a view of the aquarium. After dinner, they observe the underwater world right from their bed as they fall asleep. But in the early morning hours of the next day, the peaceful slumber comes to an end.
Yeah.
1 million liters of water rush through the hotel lobby like a tsunami.
1 million liters.
The water masses sweep everything in their path. A hotel employee on the ground floor is pushed through a wall. The salt water crashes through the front of the hotel and pours onto the street outside.
1 million liters of water.
It is an absolute miracle that no one died during this incident.
No one died.
Had it happened just hours earlier, how could this have happened?
What even kind of glass is strong enough to hold 1 billion liters of water?
Building a massive aquarium is quite a challenge. An understanding of math and physics does not only come in handy for aquariums though, but also in everyday life. Brilliant gives you skills that can be applied to everything, literally, all the way from basic logic to artificial intelligence. It does so in an engaging and playful way. You can customize the content and work through the exercises and problems at your own pace. Take a quick quiz when you sign up, and you'll get content matching your personal skill level and interests. The new Brilliant course, Thinking in Code, helps you understand the inner workings of technological approaches to solve real-world issues in a truly intuitive and engaging manner. Boost your analytical skills, become a better problem solver at work. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free, for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Fern or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off of Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Start developing new skills today. Just minutes after the incident, the fire department is on the scene. Somehow, no one died. Only 2 people suffered minor injuries. Then Berlin Mayor Franziska Giffey says in an interview,
Wenn das Ganze nicht um 5:45 Uhr passiert wäre, sondern auch nur eine Stunde später, dann müssten wir jetzt wahrscheinlich furchtbare, auch menschliche Schäden hier berichten.
That's crazy when you think about it, yeah.
The scale of the devastation is staggering. The force of the rushing water has left a trail of destruction.
Yeah, but what about the damn fish? No one's gonna take it about the fish casualties. I mean, come on. Come on, the fish.
At least 6 other shops next to the hotel were damaged. Debris was swept onto the street. Nothing remains of the cozy living room atmosphere inside. Instead, there's chaos, destruction, and countless dead fish.
Yes, poor fish.
Very few have survived the rupture of the aquarium. Those that did were rescued. Immediately, the investigation of the case begins. Why did the Aquadome burst?
The fish wanted to escape, maybe?
Unfortunately, there's no surveillance camera aimed at the aquarium. So logically, they speak with the people who were in the hotel at the time. Maybe they saw something. One of them is a 42-year-old hotel employee named Jorge Marin. Marin is on the night shift. Actually, it's not supposed.
They have the biggest, most expensive fucking aquarium in the world, but they don't have a single security camera to add it. Bruh.
Supposed to be his shift today at all. He spontaneously filled in for a colleague. It's a normal Thursday evening. He's sitting on the ground floor of the building, in the back office at the computer. maybe 20 meters away from the aquarium. Then, it's no longer a normal night shift. He hears a loud noise. He gets up and walks towards the lobby to check, but he doesn't get far. Just seconds later, he's completely underwater. The water bursts through a non-bearing wall and drags him with it. He lands in the Lindt chocolate shop right next door, buried under all sorts of delicious debris. He can't move. But he is conscious. He can breathe and calls for help. Every 30 seconds, he tries to attract attention.
Imagine it was milk, though. Actually, that sounds great. Water and chocolate, meh. Imagine it was like full of milk. It was drowning in milk and chocolates.
The fire department arrives and hears his calls. They slowly remove the debris above him until he is freed. On the way to the ambulance, Marin can hardly believe how lucky he was. He just survived the burst of the world's largest freestanding aquarium. On his way out of the chocolate shop, he grabs a piece of candy.
I didn't know it, yeah. I wasn't really feeling like watching anything about Rome today.
To burst.
Maybe next time. Like, is it actually just that it wasn't maintained, or is it someone like eat it or something? On the way they're showing it, like, it doesn't look like you can really eat it.
So there are no surveillance recordings, no witnesses. Speculations arise. The Aquadome is a cylinder made of acrylic glass. Despite its name, acrylic glass is not a glass in a traditional sense. It's a type of plastic. The material is particularly popular for its break resistance. It is considered a construction material that remains stable for a long time. Nonetheless, investigators and the public first suspect material fatigue to be the cause of the catastrophe. Was it perhaps an act of sabotage? Did someone damage the aquarium by firing a gunshot?
That's what I was thinking.
Was there an earthquake, or did movement in the substructure lead to the rupture? Theories range from temperature fluctuations and construction errors to the use of the wrong cleaning spray. The hotel owner, Union Investment, wants to know the exact cause, so they hire acrylic expert Christian Bonten and material examiner Robert Kirchner to get to the bottom of this whole mess. Every single piece of aquarium glass is collected, from the hotel lobby to the street. Bonten and Kirchner start examining the shards. Each piece is photographed, numbered, and sorted by size. The Aquadome is not reassembled, but rather unrolled and laid out on the floor in a warehouse in Brandenburg.
That's an insane amount of work.
They reconstruct where each shard was in the Aquadome. With this technique, they may be able to find out where the damage began.
Okay.
A gigantic 700-piece puzzle emerges. It occupies an area of 578 square meters and weighs a total of 90 tons. Every professional puzzler knows that you should start with the edges. The experts do the same. They identify the edge pieces mostly based on their thickness. The cylinder wall is thicker at the bottom edge than at the top. This allows them to slowly figure out where each shard once was. This puzzle takes months. Some glass fragments are even examined under a microscope and chemically analyzed. In October 2023, expert...
I was gonna say, like, isn't acrylic, like, you can use kind of like robbers do in America with like car windows? Like, if you have one of the super, like, tiny pinpoint you can break it super easily. I mean, I've got this acrylic, like, and this one is kind of popping out. Acrylic stand, obviously Gyro, right? And, like, this is very, like, it's kind of flimsy. I'm sure they use, like, a stronger acrylic, but, like, if I even bend, it's gonna break. This is the kind of thing that's, like, I don't know. Like, I understand it can hold the water, but it feels like the kind of thing that you can break easily with like a single point attack, I guess.
Christian Bonten presents their final results. They have 3 possible hypotheses for the damage.
We want one.
When the Aquadome was built in 2002, the aquarium was not transported in one piece. The American company, Reynolds Polymer Technology, was hired to build the acrylic tubes.
Nobody in Germany has the technology.
15 acrylic panels were manufactured in Colorado and brought to Germany. It was an incredibly complex construction project.
Hey, Willem! Swing right a little bit.
Yeah, you swing right now.
Okay, now.
So, it's America's fault.
Down, 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 stop!
I guess it's this guy's fault.
In the lobby of the hotel, the individual parts were then carefully connected and glued together. How exactly they put the acrylic panels together without visible seams, remains a company secret. Then the acrylic is meticulously polished for weeks. As a result, the view of the fish is as clear
as looking out your window of your office.
After months of work,
Looks like
the construction is finally finished. 1 million liters of salt water are filled into the aquarium, and only a short time later, the first inhabitants are allowed to move in. The Aquadome is completed. It becomes a popular attraction. Sometimes there are even guided tours.
We are now standing in the world's greatest freestanding tank, and the only one with an elevator. The most famous fish in this tank is the small blue fish with the yellow tail.
Actually,
this fish is known by almost every child in the world of story from the movie Finding Nemo. It's the pet surgeon fish.
But almost 20 years later, the Aquadome is destroyed.
The enslaved Nemo.
It's possible that an adhesive seam came loose in December 2022.
I was gonna say, like, understand it's a company secret, but if the thing broke, can you really still keep it secret? Like, yeah, like, did you use some fucking, you know, like $5 glue or something? I guess, again, like, the thing held for, like, almost 20 years, right?
Such a huge aquarium, with all of its marine life, naturally requires a lot of work and care. You need to make sure that the water is always at the ideal temperature for the tropical fish, that they're doing well and are being fed. Every day, divers swim in the Aquadome and clean the aquarium. The view of the fish always has to stay as clear as the view from your office window. Sometimes, though, it also needs more intensive care. It was noticed that the gaskets at the base were leaking and water was dripping into the lobby. This didn't matter for the stability of the Aquadome, but an aquarium still shouldn't drip anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Between 2019 and 2020, the Aquadome underwent extensive renovation. For
so
this,
that might be
all the fish were removed from the aquarium and the water was completely drained. But here's the thing. When acrylic absorbs moisture, the surface expands. When it dries out, it shrinks. This can cause small cracks to form on the surface. It could be that the aquarium wasn't refilled with water soon enough. This might have caused the wall to dry out, leading to tensions in the acrylic glass that may have caused cracks.
So maybe it was actually, like, all good. It was the renovation that made it worse, which would be ironic. Hammer and chisel. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Also came across photos of the renovation process. On these, they saw that the renovators were using a hammer and chisel. It's possible that they unintentionally caused a small notch on the gasket during their work. Over time, this could have caused a crack. For months, the experts worked tirelessly on this enormous puzzle. Yet, in the end, it remains incomplete. Ultimately, they can't pinpoint the origin of the crack. All three hypotheses are possible. Maybe a combination of them played a role. Unfortunately, and quite unsatisfyingly, there isn't a definitive answer.
Damn.
But the Aquadome burst led to other important discussions. Numerous dead tropical fish, 2 injured people who survived the traumatic event, damage in the tens of millions. After the disaster, animal welfare organizations criticized keeping tropical fish in giant aquariums. One organization argued that it should not be allowed to use fish as living decorations in the...
Okay, but, like, obviously it's sad that the fish died, but at the same time, like, is it actually bad for them to be in an aquarium like this? Or they don't care, they're just living their best life swimming in the largest aquarium? Like, obviously it's bad when it bursts and they die, which shouldn't happen, but otherwise, is it actually bad? Like, their fish, aren't they super, like, simple, right? Like, you should just give them food, they're happy? I don't know.
First place. According to NABU, fish are sentient and are highly developed vertebrates that should not be kept behind glass just for our entertainment. Instead of living in their natural habitat, these fish are cramped.
Is that true though? I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Like, aren't fish literally, like, super simple in terms of intellect?
Into a glass tank. PETA even filed a criminal complaint with the public prosecutor's office in Berlin for animal killing. Aquadome isn't the first big aquarium that broke. In 2012,
PETA, again,
the glass of an open-air shark tank in a shopping mall in Shanghai, China, cracked. The cause was probably a combination of sub-zero temperatures, warm water, and weak material. 16 people were injured. These tragedies might raise concerns about the safety of such huge aquariums, but also fundamentally ethical questions about keeping marine animals in captivity. Should we do that in the first place? maybe the Aquadome is an opportunity to focus on a more respectful way of dealing with marine life.
I don't know, that's an interesting topic, yeah.
The news broke.
That's an interesting topic. I don't know what I think about it. I do kind of like, I've come around with zoo. I do think they're kind of fucked up. Like, you know, it's both cool to be able to see those animals, but it's also kind of fucked up to just keep animals in zoo like that. But then fish, I never really thought about it. Because again, like, you know, maybe it's a fucked up way to look at it, but I just look at fish as like, you know, like, sure, they're sentient, sure, they're alive, but they're so, like, so basic that, you know, as long as you just feed them in the aquarium, like, what do they have to complain about? They don't have to, like, go through the ruthless cycle of actually surviving in the wild. We're literally, like, keeping them alive more than they probably would otherwise. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, again, I haven't looked into it. Maybe fish are smarter than I think. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting subject. It's an interesting subject. Okay, well, very unsatisfying video. I hate how there's so many great videos like that on YouTube, where you know, you come in, you expect an answer, and there's no answers. So we don't know what happened, the end. Like, they made this insane fucking aquarium, but no one put a camera on it. So we don't know what happened.